The petal structure of the chakras is usually given that they are knowledge, love, and will petals. Those three are usually found on their own tier: a knowledge, a love, and a will tier. That is to say, a layer of petals. And so normally we would look at that as 3 layers of petals within each of the chakras. Then, additionally, there is what's called the jewel in the lotus. The lotus now is the representation of the entirety of the chakra. Chakra, the word means wheel, and often these wheels of energy appear to the mind, to the intuitive, clairvoyant mind, as flowers, as unfolding petals of awareness. So that's why the image is given as lotuses, as having petals, and that those unfoldings of the petals lead to increased awareness. There's a feedback loop between the development of the chakra system and the development of our awareness. So that's pretty easy to understand. One of the ways that I'd like you to approach the chakras and their petals is to slightly adjust the words that we're going to use. One of my challenges as a teacher is that my awareness doesn't stay the same for long. And so as a result of that, there's always more that can be offered or a new way to offer it. So as a simple example, knowledge, love, and will tiers could also be looked at very simply and correctly and maybe even more easily as outer, inner, and secret. Now, am I using those terms just because they are tantric terms? No. The knowledge tier of petals, the knowledge that we are to gain, to then learn how to use, and eventually how to wield. Notice what I just said. Gain, learn to use, and learn to wield. That knowledge is an outer knowledge when we are talking about the knowledge tier of petals on a chakra. That understanding that we will gain is related to the love tier of petals or the love petal on each tier. It is an inner process. It has to do with our relation to others, yes, be other a person, place, or thing. To ourself, relation to ourself, relation in all regards. And thus, as we perfect our sense of relatedness, we're actually moving more into an inner relationship with life, with ourself, and with everything that life is comprised of as a result of that. And then there is the secret layer, the will layer. The will petals are also called the sacrifice petals. Sacrifice does not necessarily mean a Judeo-Christian, very suffused word. Instead, sacrifice has to do with the first law of the soul, the law of sacrifice. It has to do with that which is willing to give of itself completely for the betterment of others. So, as an example, the planet Earth. The creator or creatrix of the planet Earth so gave of itself as to create all that exists on this planet, to let it be as it is, to give it freedom, to let it develop as it will, and to, furthermore, the beingness that is the creator of the planet sacrificed his, her way of doing things such that we could develop ours. The law of sacrifice. Sacrifice is also to give for, to quote the Tibetan master. So when we look at knowledge, it is information and knowledge or wisdom gained about the outer appearances, the outer functioning, the material or dense or concrete ways of being. It has to do with Newtonian laws. It has to do with our everyday mundane practices of being alive, of fostering the life of others, or of doing that which is contrary to fostering and life enhancement. It all is knowledge, and it all has to do with the outer appearances, the outer presentations of life, the knowledge petals. The love petals have to do with the inner meanings of life, the inner reasons, the inner causes. And so the love petals will have to do with the relationship that is set up, that causes a result, that is how we interact, and thus, again, become causative, or are driven by the results that we have set in motion, that we don't even know that we've set them in motion necessarily, because they are so inner, they are so behind the outer appearance. And then there is the will petals, also called sacrifice petals, and I'm offering to you the idea that this has to do with secret. I think specifically that has to do with the secrets that each chakra has to reveal. The chakra has secret words of power, secret powers that are developed as we all develop. Each chakra has the secret held within the jewel of its lotus. That would have to do with initiation processes and how we proceed through the initiation processes, which are then the more significant and yes, life-altering, but they are the most significant expansions of consciousness and establishing ourselves as that expanded awareness, expanded beingness. So there are secrets, secret words, secret powers, secret reasons for being of the chakras. Those secrets unfold just like the knowledge unfolds, just like the relatedness unfolds. And as it unfolds, as these things unfold, then we become the sacrificing beings, just like the creator of the world. We become the sacrificing beings, sacrificing our very matters, our time, our energy, etc., into the well-being of all beings, into the well-being of the world.